Hello, Bills Mafia, and welcome to the 19th edition of the Buffalo Bills Now podcast. And we are into training camp. The 2014 season is underway for the Buffalo Bills, and they are the only team that has kicked it off so far. So let's get into it. These last couple of days have been all about Sammy Watkins. And Dave, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Fantastic.
That's good.
But Sammy Watkins, if you haven't seen the video so far, it was just an insane catch during practice today. There wasn't any defense on him, but it was still a pretty good catch.
No, it was an amazing catch that you would never make.
It was a one-handed grab. I make them all the time.
No, you don't.
They call me Randy Moss.
No, kids at home go with Chad Johnson. But no, that was an amazing catch. He's been lighting up camp. He's on in the highlights. All week now, so I mean, I'm just very excited to see what he's got this year.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be a fantastic player for the Buffalo Bills. But let's start it off with Sammy Watkins. Let's just talk a little bit about him since that's all that ESPN has been talking about the last couple of days. The Bills took him 4th overall after trading 2 first-round picks to the Browns for him. Do you think that trade was worth it, even if he pans out?
If he pans out, I think it was worth it. If he is a legitimate number one, say 1,200 yards and like 10 touchdowns. Then definitely worth it, because if you get that true number one guy that teams have to game plan against, it's worth it than taking a guy who we don't know about. I mean, if you get one first-year guy who's going to help the team for years to come, then definitely worth it.
I just think he needs to help E.J. Manuel in any way. If he can make E.J. Manuel have a couple of good games this year and maybe win more than lose, like a 9-7 record or something this year, then I think that everyone would be talking about the Bills being the Bills making a great move with that Sammy Watkins trade. But there is a reason why the Browns didn't want Sammy Watkins, I believe.
What would that reason be?
I don't know. I haven't seen him play on the field yet.
Yeah,
He's been lighting up camp against Stephon Gilmore and Leos McKelvin. They've said, but it should be cool to see if he ends up panning out, but he's probably the top player for me to watch this year, other than E.J. Manuel and Marcell Dareus.
Yes. Is that a transition?
Yeah.
Alright, now, nice transition move you did there, into Marcell Dareus, who released a statement earlier regarding everything that he has been, that's been going on with him over the offseason. He said, "After dealing with a personal matter in Alabama, I am excited to return to training camp to rejoin my teammates in our preparations for the 2014 season. Right now, my focus is on earning the trust of my teammates, coaches, and the fans while continuing to improve as a football player. I have a passion for this game, and I want to be here to help this organization achieve its goals. There are things I need to work on professionally and personally to make sure I can be accountable to myself, my family, this team, and this community. My focus will remain on achieving that goal one day at a time. I want to thank the Bills organization, Coach Marrone, and the coaching staff, my teammates, and our fans for their continued support." End quote. Marcell Dareus released that statement earlier today.
That obviously is coming off his horrible offseason. He got caught drag racing another Bill, Jerry Hughes, in Hamburg, in a 2012 Jaguar, which is like a lot of money. He crashed into a tree and almost killed somebody.
For those who don't know, he was drag racing in the suburbs.
Yeah, the suburbs of Hamburg.
Near a mall.
Yeah,
so,
and he hit a tree against Jerry Hughes. And then later, or I think it was before, he was caught with synthetic marijuana.
Yeah, that was
in his car
in Alabama.
But so
and then he failed his conditioning test.
And then later, just to put a nice cherry on the topping for his terrible offseason, he failed his first conditioning test, and he will, after having a nice workout today, him and Alan Branch will retake it on Thursday. But Alan Branch is another guy, just like Marcell Dareus, who's been very quiet, but he's pretty much done a lot that, besides the drag racing and stuff like that, he's done a lot that Marcell Dareus has. He failed the conditioning test, along with not talking to anybody over the offseason and not even keeping in touch with the coach, which not many people know, but him and Manuel Lawson didn't keep in touch with the coaches over the offseason, which is a pretty bad thing.
I guess. But I like Manuel Austin. I think I like him than a lot more people. But, Darius, what do you think he's going to do this year for the Bills?
I can see a short-term suspension for him, maybe the first couple of games this year from the NFL.
I don't think he gets more than 4 games.
I don't think you can get more than 4 games unless it's like a second.
Maybe.
A thing, but
maybe 2 games. I can see.
I can only see him getting 1 or 2 games, if he gets 1 at all. But we'll see if he can even pass his conditioning test tomorrow. I mean, Alan Branch will take it.
The stupidest suspension ever was last year in college when they suspended Manziel for a half.
Yeah, they suspended Johnny Manziel for a half, and I think the team was down. Then he came back and they killed the team for the But Marcel Darius was suspended for 2 halves last year in 2 different games by the coaches.
Oh, well, that's not suspended.
Yeah, it is.
I guess.
And Marcel Darius is a bum. Sorry, but he is.
Yeah.
There's no question about it.
I guess. So do you think that he could still be as dominant as he was last year once he gets onto the field?
Of course, if he gets on the field. I to be honest, if he fails another conditioning test tomorrow and he can't get in shape, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets released by the team.
Wow. That's a little extreme.
Not really.
They will not release him.
Why not?
He was a Pro Bowler last year.
So.
They would not release him just because of this.
Chad Ochocinco was a Pro Bowler and they released him for being a scumbag.
I guess.
And so was Pac-Man Jones. And
but was it the year right before that he was just a Pro Bowler and then he...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teams do this.
No, they would not release Marcel Darius. He's too good of a player.
I would say I like Marcel Darius as a player, but if he keeps on doing this every single, he says I'm sorry, but if he does it again, then that's not sorry.
Yeah, but he never said I was sorry before and did it again.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, I guess he didn't do anything after, but he failed his conditioning test, so.
That's not doing anything wrong. It's just
kinda is.
Being a fat piece of crap.
Yeah. But when you say sorry, that means you're gonna work hard, kinda.
Maybe.
But, on to more football-related stuff. The battle that has been announced by Doug Marrone. He says that the second quarterback position, the backup quarterback position is up for grabs. It'll be Jeff Toole versus Thad Lewis. Thad Lewis had a great year last year, along with Jeff Toole in his 1 game played.
I wouldn't say that Thad Lewis had a great year last year, and I wouldn't say that Toole had a great year.
Fine, not great, but Jeff Toole.
Jeff Toole's been lighting up training camp. Although he also had an impressive camp last year, but apparently he had an impressive start last year too when he started his 1 game. Yeah, I guess.
Very impressive, actually.
He didn't do that great.
Yeah, he did.
What did he do?
He ran the offense for more yards, for over 100 more yards than Thad Lewis or E.J. Manuel ever did.
He handed the ball off?
No, he threw for 270 yards and then handed the ball off for another 130 or something.
Yeah, but that isn't his yards.
Alright, fine. He threw the ball for 270 yards. That's probably more than like a lot of the games for both those 2 guys.
It's not.
I don't think yards really matter though. If the offense is running, that's the quarterback's fault. Or if the offense is running, it's the quarterback's.
You have horrible opinions, horrible views. But who do you think will be the starting backup quarterback?
Starting backup quarterback. I think Thad Lewis will end up keeping the job, but Jeff Toole will be on the team, I believe. Definitely. And Dennis Dixon will be let go. Or put on the practice squad if he's still practice squad eligible. I don't know.
It's basically already a lock. Dennis Dixon is not looking too great for him.
Yeah. Dennis Dixon's not good.
Well,
Dennis Dixon's not like a good quarterback. He's never really been... He was a backup for Ben Roethlisberger, but congrats to him.
He was backup for Joe Flacco when they won the Super Bowl.
Sweet.
Got a ring. Got more than any Bills player in the past 14... career. Sorry.
I wonder if there's any Bills with Super Bowl rings. What do you think?
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
I wonder if I don't know if Brandon Spikes
Brandon Spikes doesn't.
He might.
He hasn't been playing for 11 years.
He might have been. He's kind of old, I think.
He's not that old.
Why do you think he signed a 1-year deal? Let's think offensive one. No, the offensive line's too young.
No Bills have rings. Nick Barnett did.
Anthony Dixon.
He does not. He went to one, but he didn't win one.
Bruce Brown.
Bryce Brown, the Eagles made the playoffs and lost in the second round.
I wonder how many playoff players we have.
Bryce Brown, Anthony Dixon,
Corey Graham,
Mike Williams.
No.
No,
Anthony Dixon.
Anthony Dixon. I already said him. None of the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Not from last year.
I know. I said yeah.
None of the O linemen.
Oh, Dennis Dixon is. That counts.
Not last year.
I'm not talking about last year. I'm talking about ever.
Oh well, I guess it's not really.
I think Eric Paris has.
Oh yeah, Dennis Dixon has a ring.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. But who do you think's gonna win the battle?
It's gonna be, in my opinion, Thad Lewis.
Yeah, Thad Lewis had a solid year. He outplayed the starting quarterback.
He didn't
last year.
outplay the starting quarterback.
He outplayed him.
All right, I'm not gonna get into this.
He outplayed him. What makes you think they didn't?
He beat the Dolphins. That's it.
But he played well against the Patriots, and he played well against the.
So did Manuel. Manuel had a lot of good games, in my opinion.
When?
The Falcons game, he had a good game against the Patriots. Week 1, the Panthers game. He didn't do as bad as people said. If he wasn't injured, I think
but you're not even talking about his horrible, like historically horrible games.
Historically horrible. How is he having a historically horrible game?
The Buccaneers game was horrible.
Yeah, I know. But it wasn't his fault.
Oh, whose fault was it?
I don't know. It was the whole team's fault. Whatever, I'm not getting into this because you think Thad Lewis. You think so? Who should start, Thad Lewis or Manuel?
Manuel's going to start.
But who should? If you were the GM or the
I
head
would probably
coach?
start EJ Manuel since they used the first round pick on him. But
who do you think's a better quarterback?
I don't know. I would put a battle if I was. I don't know. I haven't been to a day at camp yet.
All right.
But let's get into the offensive line. Pretty much every offensive line position's up for grabs.
Except for center.
Except for center, I would say. And right guard, right now, Chris Harrison is taking first team reps. At right tackle, Eric Paris is taking snaps, even though they used a second round pick on Cyrus Kouandjio. And left guard, I'm pretty sure there's a couple of guys fighting for that job. Between Cyril and Richardson, they used a 4th or 5th round pick on this year, along with Chris Williams, who they give 4 years, $20 million to. But what do you think is the most intriguing offensive line battle so far?
Well, maybe the right tackle position. I don't know. Do you think it's a lock, or do you think that Cyrus Kouandjio has a good shot at starting?
Cyrus Kouandjio's not taking any first team reps, so I would say that right now Eric Paris is gonna be the starter. But I think by the end of the year, well, if things go right, then obviously Eric Paris will stay for the Bills. But if things just don't pan out for the Bills this year and they're not a good football team, then I would see Cyrus Kouandjio getting the start at the end of the year to give him some playing time to go into the 2015 season. But right now it's Eric Paris. This is going to be my offensive line. Left tackle, Cordy Glenn, if he's still alive.
What?
Left tackle, or left guard, Chris Williams from the Rams last year. Center, Eric Wood, obviously. Right guard, Craig Gerbic, who lost his job today, and Chris Harrison took it over, but I think he'll get it back. And right tackle, I'll have to put Eric Paris there.
All right. So speaking of Cordy Glenn, he is out with an illness that we don't know much about because they haven't said too much about what's going on with Cordy Glenn. Well, what are the team injuries are there, and what are the biggest concerns injury-wise other than Kiko Alonso, as we know, who is already out for the season?
I would say left tackle. I mean,
yes, Cordy Glenn.
Cordy Glenn and his backup, Shontrell Henderson. So, right now, I don't think either of them are practicing. I know Cordy Glenn isn't, but I don't think Henderson is either. So I would have to say that's my biggest concern at left tackle. But also, Marquise Goodwin, who is fragile as a piece of glass, has gotten injured for about his 5th different injury in his career, because he got injured a couple of times in training camp last year, and then in the games he also got injured. But Marquise Goodwin, I don't know. We'll get a couple of games out of him no matter what, but we'll see what happens with him if he can ever not be injured in his career. But
he doesn't really have to do that much, though.
Yes, he does.
Like what? He's not going to play as much as He's only the 4th receiver in the kick returner.
It depends.
You think he could be higher?
Huh?
Do you think he can be higher than the 3rd receiver or the 4th receiver?
Yeah.
You think he's better than Mike Williams?
Well, just because he's labeled as a fourth receiver doesn't mean he doesn't get a lot of playing time.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Last year he was labeled as a fourth receiver too, and he got a lot of playing time.
Yeah, true. He was a big play threat.
Yeah, so I think we kind of need him for the big play threat opposite T.J. Graham, who I think is going to make the roster. Well, Marcus Goodwin's more of an inside guy, but I mean, like, with him. I don't think Sammy Watkins is as much of a deep threat as either of those two guys.
He's everything.
Yeah, but not as much as a deep threat. He's more of like a everything kind of guy. But there's been a couple other injuries that have brought other guys onto the team. There have been, it seems like there's been roster moves every day since training camp has started. Well, today they got rid of some linebacker because he was injured. I think his name was Kitchens, Darius Kitchens or something. I don't know, but he kind of sucked anyway. I'm pretty sure. I don't think he was gonna make the team.
Well, if they got rid of him.
But what I'm looking forward to, huh?
Oh, did he get injured? That's why.
Yeah, he got injured, and then they dropped him, picked up some other guy. But what I'm looking for, yeah, that was 2 days ago. Naaman Roosevelt was picked up again. He played with the Bills in 2011 and had a pretty good season for an undrafted free agent. He had about 200 yards and a touchdown.
He had a 6-yard touchdown.
Yeah, 6-yard touchdown against the Giants. But so that is exciting to see, the UB product. He also went to St. Joe's in Buffalo too, so that's kind of exciting to see. Another hometown guy coming. He might be the only hometown guy in the Bills. No, Mike Williams and Corey Graham. So we have a lot. But I think that'll do it for our training camp edition of the Buffalo Bills Now podcast. If anything exciting or exciting or like important happened, I'll probably have me or Dave will probably have a quick news podcast and just talk about it for a couple minutes.
But yeah, coming next week we'll be doing our second year of the training camp fantasy, so we'll have our draft next week because we have that Saturday. Next Saturday is the first game, the Hall of Fame game in Canton, so we got 5 games, preseason game this year. Mm-hmm. If you could even get excited about that much, but still. So
I'll have a preview for every game and a recap for every game this year, so just stay at Buffalo Bills Now. But for David Crescenti, this is Brendan Harrington signing off.